Hello and welcome. I'm John Garlick, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. So normally the sheriff would be with us today, but he's out doing very important sheriffing things. You know, we're going through Hurricane Ida has made landfall in Louisiana, made a lot of damage, and we're experiencing some wind and rain from that. So please be careful over the next couple of days. There could be some tree limbs down, standing water in the roadways, people out cleaning things up. So be patient, be alert, and be very careful. Let's look at our lineup or our count this week. We managed to arrest 4 people, so our count is now up to 4,833 people arrested because of the wonderful citizens of Calhoun County stepping up and giving the sheriff's office lots of information. And you'll have another chance to do that because right after this break, you'll have the first half of our lineup. But stay with us because we have a wonderful guest and some more lineup and Crime Stoppers all here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Scammers are now taking advantage of people's increased economic anxiety. One of the latest ploys is to phone unsuspecting victims and pose as representatives of utility companies. A scammer may identify themselves as your local power company. They may be able to identify your account number and even your name and address, but that does not mean they are legitimate. They may claim you are past due and your services are about to be shut off. Do not let the implied seriousness of this call frighten you into making a quick decision to pay. Instead, hang up the phone, then contact your local utility company directly using the phone number listed on your bill or on their website. Speak with a representative to check on your account. Never give your banking information over the phone unless you have placed the call yourself to a phone number that you know is correct. Utility companies do not demand your banking information by email or phone. They will not force you to pay over the phone as your only option. Any reputable company will never request payment by gift card, reloadable cash card, wiring money, or cryptocurrency. Some of the requested cards could be MoneyPack, Vanilla, Google, eBay, Amazon, or even an iTunes card. But you should know that there are still many more variety of cards the scammer could suggest that you use. If they ask for payment in any form of these cards, it is a scam. For more information, you can go to ftc.gov or call me, Nancy Hilton, at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office at 256-236-6600.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Antonio Andrews, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for burglary third. And meet Ezekiel Cruz. Mr. Cruz, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted on a failure to appear for sex abuse. Take a look at Jennifer Burr, last known to be living in Aniana, Alabama. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Kasim Fox. He lives in Anniston. Wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Take a look at Brian Hughes. Mr. Hughes, last known to be living in Talladega. He's wanted on a probation violation and possession of a controlled substance. This is Sammy Wolford. Mr. Wolford, last known to be living in Piedmont, wanted for assault second, breaking and entering a vehicle, and criminal mischief third. Meet Rick Jones. Mr. Jones, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted on a bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, theft of property fourth, obstruction of justice using a false ID, and carrying a pistol without a permit. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in the lineup. You might know where they are. If you do, give the sheriff's office a call. They are standing by, ready to pick up some folks and bring some justice here to Calhoun County. Right now, we have a really important guest from the Agency of Substance Abuse, Tricia Anderson.
Hi.
Hi. Formerly an accountant.
Yes.
Not just an accountant, a master's level accountant. That was my first career. I love accountants. So you're here, Agency of Substance Abuse and Prevention. So remind our audience, ASAP's been on the show many times, but go ahead and remind our audience what ASAP does.
We take out prevention material out to the community. We work in the schools, provide prevention efforts in the schools, and we really try to get down with the community.
And you go into the schools quite a bit, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you personally go into the schools?
I do not, but two of my coworkers do, and we just hired a third.
Oh, wow. So are you in all of the county schools or all of the city schools?
We're in most of all of the county schools and a few of the city schools.
And about what age group are you talking to?
Elementary, middle school, try to get them younger.
And that's kind of, I mean, that's great that you're doing that, right? But it's kind of a sad commentary on society that we have to be briefing our elementary school students, third graders, second graders, about the dangers of drug use.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them already know a lot already. Kids are like sponges. They soak up everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, with all the technology today, these kids have access to everything.
Yeah, everything's on the internet. They're getting lots of misinformation. And, it's a shame because drugs are causing severe brain damage to children. And, of course, the younger they use and are exposed to it, the more dangerous it becomes. So you're here to talk about recovery, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is after you've started using drugs and realized that this was a bad decision. Now you have to recover. So what is ASAP doing with recovery?
Well, September is actually National Recovery Month. During this month, we celebrate those who have gone through recovery, who've stuck with recovery, and those who haven't had the opportunity yet to know that our acronym is HOPE, Hold On, Pain Ends, that people do recover and they stay recovered. And in lieu of that, we have started an event. It's called the Recovery Rock Search, and this year is actually the second year we've done it. So we're hoping to make this a thing every year. But what we did was we took 100 rocks, just regular rocks, and painted them, and we've hidden them throughout Calhoun County. And last year we had 10 prize rocks, but this year we partnered with two other agencies, Dina Bowling with the Recovery Organization of Support Specialists, and Jennifer Gentry with Self-Recovery Detox. So this year we have 15 prize rocks. So our agency is supporting 5 of those prize rocks, and then Ross has 5 and Self-Recovery Detox has 5, and they're all going to be hidden throughout Calhoun County.
So how does that work then? How does somebody participate in this?
Well, you just have to get out and walk around, and if you happen to stumble across one of these prize rocks, our number is on the rock, and the rock actually says winner. So when you see it, if you see a rock and it says winner, our phone number will be on the back, and then they would just call our number, set up an appointment, and they would exchange the rock for a prize.
So do these rocks have a particular look about them, or is it just any old rock?
The prize rocks are white. The rest of the rocks are, I think we painted black, orange, and yellow with different designs on them. They've got different little sayings, like some of them say you are worth it or we care. Some of them have our HOPE logo for Hold On, Pain Ends, just little nuggets of wisdom.
And they're all over the county?
All over the county.
So all 618 square miles.
Yep.
There are various rocks. In total, how many rocks do you think are out there? Not just the prize rocks, but
between the 3 of our agencies, there are 200 rocks total, and out of those 200, there are 15 prize rocks.
wow. So if they find a prize rock, it's going to have a phone number on it they can call and find out what their prize is.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have the prize on it? Oh, look, there's our on screen. You can see Recovery Rock Search starting September 1st, and it goes all the way to
November the 30th. Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes a while to find all 200 rocks.
We did that. I mean, last year the pandemic was hit, and we were trying to do something a little outside of the box. You know, people were stuck in their homes, lose their jobs, stuck in their homes, and we tried to engage the community without people being elbow to elbow on top of each other so they could still practice the social distancing. And since we're still kind of in this pandemic, you know, we wanted people to be able to get out and do something that gets you out of the house and out of the four walls that you're used to and out fresh air with your family, you know. And if you happen to stumble across one of these rocks, hey, that's a bonus.
So there's no clue about where these rocks could be?
There aren't. When it gets closer to November, we will probably start dropping hints, so people will be able to know, but for now, they're just out in the county.
Right, you don't want those rocks just kind of laying around there for the next 100 years.
No, we want people to find them.
Yeah.
We don't want them all to be found in the first, 5 days.
Right.
But we want people to find them.
Well, this is a great idea. So we're going to talk more about this. We're going to take a break right now, and then we'll come back and talk more about this and recovery and all the other wonderful things that ASAP is doing. So stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We'll be back after this next lineup. So stay with us. Welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Nicholas Taylor. Mr. Taylor, last known to be living in Gadsden. He's wanted on a probation violation for robbery first. This is William Barfield. Mr. Barfield, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted on a bond revocation for forgery third. Take a look at Jerry Green. Mr. Green, last known to be living in Russellville. He's wanted on a bond revocation for theft of property first and burglary third. And this is Jacob Austin. Mr. Austin, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted on a probation revocation for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Kenny Moore. Mr. Moore, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And here is Kimberly Stant. Miss Stant, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of these folks or have any information at all, please give the Sheriff's Office a call at 256-236-6600. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup that you may know or may know where they are. And remember, call the Sheriff's Office, 256-236-6600. You call, they haul. We're here with Tricia Anderson of the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention, and we were talking about Recovery Rocks search and how you've put, 200 rocks?
Our agency did 100. Our partnering agencies did 50 each. So yes, total of 200.
200 rocks scattered about Calhoun County, not in any other county.
Nope,
So
just Calhoun County.
your search area is 618 square miles, 200 rocks, 15 of them have exciting prizes. So what are some of these prizes?
We've had local businesses donate. We've got a wash bucket, a whole wash kit from AutoZone and O'Reilly's.
Oh, wow.
Dirty Dogs donated a $50 gift card.
What is Dirty Dogs?
Dirty Dogs is right off Highway 78, and they're that new car wash place.
Okay, very good.
Really
So
nice
more
car
wash
place.
stuff, yeah.
Yep. And then I've got a $50 gift card from Fuji's,
Oh, wow. Okay.
so pretty high-end place.
Yep.
And a tool set donated from the Snap-on tool truck.
Oh, so those are really good prizes. So that's incentive for people to go out and look for these 15 specialty prize rocks. You know, this is really a great fundraising. Well, it's not really fundraising, is it? It's awareness.
Oh, it's bring awareness to celebrate those who've gone through recovery. I mean, I can imagine the struggle, you know, that some people go through with substance misuse. I've been fortunate enough to never have had that or really known anyone in my close circle to have had to deal with that, but you know, it takes a toll on you.
Oh, it does. You know, I've spent 18 years with the Sheriff's Office, and I'm a licensed counselor, so I've seen it from every possible angle. And it's a tragedy. Drugs are a tragedy, and a lot of kids, as we talked in the first half, are getting information off the internet, which is a terrible place. But also in popular culture, we minimize the recovery pain, and we minimize how difficult it is to actually get and stay clean. A lot of young kids will think, well, it'll never happen to me. I won't get addicted. I
And
can
I
just
can
use
quit
this drug, and
anytime.
and I can quit anytime. And and if I have a problem, I can go to a 28-day program, and I'll be fixed. Because we see all these Hollywood stars that, they go to these programs and they say, yes, I've done it, and it's all a big lie. Because you don't ever really get away clean from drug use. I've seen it with a lot of my clients. Something even as innocuous as marijuana, which is becoming legal all over the country, causes brain damage. And it targets the fear and anxiety center of your brain, and it targets and damages the impulse control center, as all drugs do. They damage your impulse control center, and that brain damage doesn't heal. It doesn't just get better when you stop.
Right.
It's damaged. Now, you can find workarounds, but a lot of people smoke pot in high school and in college, and when they stop, as an adult, they have anxiety disorders. And they have to learn the workarounds to cope with that. A lot of people that use heavier stuff have impulse control problems, and that doesn't heal. They have to find new management skills, like learning to walk with an artificial leg. People have to learn to maneuver their emotions with a damaged brain, and they can do it, but it's not easy.
Right. We work with a lot of other agencies, and like Ross and Self Recovery Detox. They employ people who've gone through the recovery program because, to me, like, I could talk to someone who's struggling with substance misuse, but I'm not going to be as effective with them as someone else would be who's gone through it and actually understands on a personal level what they're going through, because I don't have that experience. And, from talking to them and just listening to their stories, which are amazing, they struggle with it every single day, even being 10, 15 years recovered. That desire, I guess, never really goes away. They just learn to kind of control it.
Yeah, they do. And, many people, when they go into rehab or recovery for the first time, it's the recidivism rate, the failure rate is about 85% or worse the first time. So you go for whatever reason, you're court ordered or you have a desire to quit, and 85% within the first couple of months afterwards are using again. And then that cycle continues for most of their life, and it's very, very difficult. And yes, they're in pain, and they're making a choice every minute of every day to not use.
And that's where our agency comes in. We work with agencies that do treatment and counseling, and it's really important for those people who are struggling with substance misuse, but we also try to get it on the prevention before it happens. And so that's what we do when we go into these schools. We try to hit those kids before they ever even take that first drag or that first sip or that first pill or anything. Hey, don't do this.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that because we got to take a break, and we'll be back. We won't have a crazy criminal this week, but we're going to be hanging out with Tricia some more here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. This week up on your caseload, between the hours of 12:30 a.m. and 2 a.m. on August 20th, numerous vehicles were broken into at a location on Torian Lane in Anniston. Cell phones and money were stolen from those vehicles. And sometime on August 16th, an individual located a 2009 Honda Goldwing for sale on Facebook. This individual began online correspondence with a seller who claimed they were about to ship out for overseas duty and didn't want to keep it in storage. After sending a payment of $3,000 for the Goldwing by reloadable money cards, the buyer waited for the shipment. The Goldwing never arrived. The seller ceased contact with the buyer and erased all messages. Theft by fraud, my friends. And last up on your caseload this week, between November 5th and July 24th, that's November 5th, 2020, and July 24th, 2021, a 9mm Glock was stolen from a vehicle on Old Sulphur Springs Road in Wellington. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. If you have any information on these cases, please give the Sheriff's Office a call at 256-236-6600. Welcome back. Hope you saw some information on that Crime Stoppers portion of the show. If you have information on those cases, please give the investigators a call at the Sheriff's Office. They really could use your input. We're still here with Tricia Anderson from Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention. And we were talking about how important it is to get information to the schools to stop kids from using so that they never have to go through recovery. But then we're talking about a recovery rocks search. So you've placed, what, 200 rocks?
200 rocks between 3 agencies.
Throughout the entire county.
Throughout Calhoun County.
And 15 of them have spectacular gifts tied to them. So they don't see the gift when they flip the rock over. They just have a phone number?
Yes.
Okay, so you won't know. If you find a rock, you won't know what's in that rock until you call and ASAP. Will you answer the phone or be somebody else?
It'll be one of us that answers the phone. Just
one of your many, many staff.
Yes.
Will answer the phone, and they'll tell you. How do they know what rock has what prize attached to it?
We don't really have a prize attached to each rock. We just, when they bring it in, we just kind of...
Just figure out then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if I find a rock, it's definitely the Fuji gift certificate. So, recovery, you know, we want to prevent kids from using, so we hit them in the schools to say no. If you do make that mistake, we want to have some recovery programs available. ASAP's a good network for that. But then there's drugs just laying around. Pills are a big problem, and they're laying around in medicine cabinets. So what do we do about that?
Well, we have permanent drop boxes throughout Calhoun County where you can take them at any time during the year. But we also do a National Prescription Drug Take Back twice a year, and there's one coming up October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there'll be 4 locations. It'll be Oxford CVS off of Highway 78. It'll be the Walgreens in Anniston off Quintard and 202. It'll be the Walgreens in Jacksonville off Pelham Road, and then Wright's Drug Pharmacy in Heflin. I'm not sure what road that's off of, but it's up in Heflin. And
we also have a box at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office all the time. Well, thank you, Tricia, for being here and talking about ASAP. Always, ASAP's doing a wonderful job preventing substance abuse here in Calhoun County. Thank you for tuning in to Calhoun County's Most Wanted, and we hope to see you again next week, but not in the lineup.